Hey everybody, Matt McCarthy here at PPL Park in Philly for the CRC Sevens Invitational with Alex Magleby, Team USA Sevens coach. Let's get right to the question everybody wants me to ask.
Really?
Yes.
Start with this?
Yes, I am. Have you won the lottery?
Yeah, clearly this is what's happened.
You've stepped aside as the country's Sevens coach.
Yeah, everybody keeps asking tough decision, but the reality is when you coach the national team, that becomes your family. It's all-consuming.
You don't like any of those guys?
Yeah, there's a lot of disrespect there. We just don't get along at all. I also have my family. I could pretend that over time I could do both. I think it would compromise both sides, and I wouldn't be a very good coach in a couple of years, and I wouldn't be a very good husband and potentially a father. So you just had to be very honest with what that situation is going to look like.
But you had a pretty good inclination of the travel.
You have an inclination of the travel in terms of the tour. You don't realize that the travel in terms of domestically, you're gone every weekend.
What changed and when did it change?
It required a lot more emotional energy and mental energy to move the team in the direction we wanted to go and everything else. And it's been an awesome process, and I'm very fortunate to have been a part of it. And as a mentor of mine talked about, it's you take the baton and you run as hard as you possibly can, and then you pass that baton on.
Was that Harry Truman? Because he stepped away in a shocking way.
That's where we're going?
Yeah, that's where we went.
Yeah.
All right, so now who should replace you?
There's a lot of good options, domestically certainly. And
do we have time to go domestically with the imperative nature of the U.S. qualifying for the Olympics?
There are people who are intimate with the program who could do well domestically.
Name three.
Larry, Curly, and Mo. It's great, a tri-coaching system.
Give me three potential coaches.
That's good. That's I just gave it to you.
Mike Friday.
And he's done a very good job with Kenya. He did a good job with England beforehand. This is not like there's an industry of sevens coaches in the world right now. It's not. It's new. You know, I was played on the first year of the first circuit, so it's growing and it's changing over time. A lot of good 15s coaches that could quickly transition in the sevens environment domestically,
sure.
As well as internationally. It's kind of the right fit for the players we have now, where I think these guys have a culture and they have a winning culture. You're going to get a coach who's going to fit what's currently happening, would be my guess.
We spoke here last year. Since then, what have you implemented or changed?
Certain behaviors that became acceptable and certain behaviors that weren't. We also, I think, did a very good job of giving certain guys a lot of opportunity to lead in a safe environment. We've also implemented the development pathway that is going to help close the gap between college and club rugby in the United States and the national team, the circuit. A crossover athlete a week wants to be on the national team, and they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, let's have you be a part of an academy, do the work there, do the development there, and then you can be one of those 15 guys that play for the national team. We weren't that far off the mark in the past. We'd closed the gap physically, and we were put under enormous pressure with the relegation, but what it taught us in a lot of ways was, wait a minute, we really have to figure out how to win.
Biggest win or wins?
The performances in Glasgow on day one that put us in a position where we were going to be core status next year. We don't do that. We have to reinvent the system now entirely. It's not like when there was only 12 core teams, there's 15 core teams.
The success of sevens, will it kill 15s?
No, they're not mutually exclusive. You get a lot more opportunities to make decisions with ball in hand, and there's 70 passes on average in a game, 5 passes per person. Prop in 15 is probably not going to get that, but the one pass that they have to make, it's going to be under pressure, so a bit of sevens can help that. On the flip side, 15s, if we need situations where we need to develop someone's confidence in the contact point, 15s is a great way to help that out.
Thank you, Coach. Nothing but the best. We're sorry to see you go, but we appreciate your time.
Thanks.
You got
awesome.
it. Matt McCarthy for Rugby Wrap-Up in Philadelphia.